Folks, we got Justin McClung with Redbox Restoration. Thank you so much for having us, man.
Yeah, thank you.
What do you got going on today?
Interviewing for you.
Yeah. So Redbox, what I'm really curious to know about is what got you doing what you're doing right now in business.
It's a good question. So we started this business about 5 years ago, and mainly due to the fact that I couldn't find a good detailing center in Austin. I worked virtually for a long time for Ford Motor Company and had lots of the detailing crews come to my house and clean my car. And I was never satisfied, whether it was from the customer service aspect or from the actual work that was being done on my car.
Yeah.
I just never could find that happy place. And I felt that I could bring a lot of, emotional intelligence to this industry was kind of the thing that I was looking for. So
seriously.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to touch upon that in just a second because that's an interesting thing that I could not pair together. We're going to get into that.
Mm-hmm.
So you were working at Ford virtually?
Yeah, so I was a claims manager for about 12 years with Ford Motor Company. Basically, Ford self-insures. So I was basically like your regular car claims if you got into an accident, except working for Ford corporate. So it was more catastrophes, hailstorms, hurricanes, whole dealerships that basically would get wiped off the face of the planet, and we would do the claims for those type of things. So
got it. And then before you did that, you were still in the auto industry.
Yeah, I started in the automotive industry when I was 14. So I dropped out of high school, got a job at a body shop, started as a paint prepper, body man, made my way up to manager. By the time I was 16, I was running one of the biggest DRP shops in Austin, which is a direct repair center for insurance companies, I guess you could say.
Okay.
And then I just kind of took a hard look around me about the people that I was working with and the people that I was working around and realized that I guess I didn't really want to look a lot like them when I was 40 years old, so I needed to get out of that industry.
What did they look like?
They were just weathered. Let's just say weathered. They're just a lot of labor, a lot of chemicals, a lot of, dust and stuff. So they were just in bad shape, and I realized that, I don't want to look like I'm 60 when I'm 40. So
yeah, and let's say you've got a product, something that you can tangibly hold. What's the process called when you bring it back to life? And we're here at Redbox.
Right at Redbox Restoration, right.
Would you look at that?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So you were in the auto industry doing various roles nearly your entire life.
Entire life, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there's not many people that have stuck with the same industry their whole life.
Yep. I've been in the car since I was a small child, and it just never stopped. So
yeah. What I'd like to ask you down, few questions down the road is some industry secrets that you may or may not know.
All right.
Don't let me forget. But bringing it back to the emotional intelligence, some things, okay? When I think of detailing a vehicle, I can't pair emotional intelligence. So let's talk about that. What does that mean?
Well, I mean, it's when you go to an operation like this and you're paying, upwards of $10,000 for a paint protection film, ceramic coating, all of that stuff. You're looking for not only a shop that's going to do the best job at what you're asking, but you're also looking for kind of the representative or that can explain what you're getting and what you're actually paying for. And I think that that's what this industry was lacking. They couldn't make the connection with me to kind of understand what I was paying for. Why was I paying $1,000 for a detail? What was I getting different than going to a place that would charge me $40 for a quick wash? They never were able to explain that difference to me. And that's where I realized that there was an area for improvement in the industry for just, just communication in general. The people just don't know how to communicate.
More robotic, like, hey, this is what we have to offer. Do you want it or not?
It was a script, like a sales script, what it seemed like. And they were more pushing for, like I said, sales rather than building that relationship with the client that lasts a lifetime. That's kind of what I was going for. I'm more into making friends than I am being a businessman. Let's put it that way.
Pushing products.
Yeah, then pushing products. Yeah, I mean, I retired from Ford. I retired from Farmers and all the corporate stuff that I did to have fun. And I want to have fun, and not only have fun, but build relationships with people that also want to have fun.
Yeah, cars are fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So you've heard people say, this is my baby. They're talking about their car.
Yeah.
Right? And they'll personalize and give it names. Right? So it only makes sense that you bring in the emotional aspect to the vehicle.
And that's what we love. I mean, we get a lot of questions from people, especially with the type of cars that you typically see on our social media is going to be real luxury, real high-end, exotic type cars. We get calls all the time from people that just have, a Camry or a Civic, but they love it.
Yeah.
And if they're in love with what they're showing me, I'm in love with it too. I can see the passion, I can see the fire that they care about that car just as much as this guy cares about this Ferrari. You know,
Yep.
I mean, it's the same love, same passion.
Hmm.
Yeah.
What kind of message do you want to give to your customers? What kind of feeling do you want them to leave with the day that they come back and they pick up their freshly wrapped or detailed car?
I want them to know that we took the utmost care in providing the service that we provide. We go above and beyond what any other shop would do in this industry due to our extensive background and knowledge of dealing with cars like this.
Yeah.
So it's completely different from operating a Chevy Tahoe than it is operating a Ferrari or another expensive car. You know, you have to tend them. They have to be, I mean, there's a lot of stuff. You have to know how to operate the car. A lot of people can't get into this car and drive it. They have no idea how to start it, you know, and there's just, that's what differentiates us because we're car people. We've been car people for our entire lives. We know how to work on cars and we know how to deliver an excellent customer experience. And that's what we're going for.
When you say we, what kind of organizational chart are you working with right now?
So right now it's me and 6 other people that run the shop here. We've got anything from mechanics, PPF installers to managers, salesmen, detailers, paint correctors. There's a whole list, and we're all kind of we can all do everything at the shop. That's what I love about my crew here is that we're all detailers, and then we can all rip an engine apart. So we can do everything here. So yeah,
That's pretty cool. So what's your ideal avatar if you were to write it down on paper for somebody that you would bring into your organization?
avatar.
Yeah, like a missing persons report. Hey, I'm looking for somebody that meets this mold.
Mm-hmm.
And then perhaps interview with them and bring them on. What
So,
would that be like?
so okay, so it's like somebody's the perfect resume
There you
is what you're asking.
Yep.
I think somebody. So that's a really interesting question. Because around here is kind of different than my manager, my corporate manager.
Sure.
My corporate manager wanted to hire somebody that has a ton of experience and that I could basically move into the position that I'm looking for them to do and almost never hear from them, right? We want them to do their job and just stay quiet, right? Because there's so many of them.
Yeah.
Here, I like to start off with people who not necessarily are new to the automotive industry, but are new to the detailing world. But they bring something extra. They have that extra fire, that extra knowledge that we may be missing in the detail game, but they bring something different. And then I teach them how to detail. And then it's a whole, like my PPF guy, he's an elite gymnast. That was his thing. So his level of concentration, you know, that he brings and brings that to the PPF side of things.
Yeah.
And he's a master, you know, and he won't stop until it's perfect, you know. So that's what we're looking for, people that are seriously passionate, not only about the customer experience that's being delivered from Redbox Restoration, but also the level of care that they put into these cars.
Yeah, and it also seems like how they treat themselves outside of coming to work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Like the gymnast, for example.
Mhm.
You know, the kind of mind, the discipline that you need to have to apply to something like that, to be good at it, is exceptional.
Yeah, right.
Taking those similar traits and bringing it into here, it's got to make a world of difference, right?
Yeah.
So walk us through the process a little bit. I'm somebody, and I make the phone call. I want to get my car PPF, perhaps. And from the phone call to the time of delivery or when they can pick it up, what does all that look like?
Okay. So let's just say you want a full body wrap, full service, basically everything that we offer. Basically, like you said, it starts with the phone call. The phone calls goes to my manager, Kevin. Kevin answers the phone. Redbox Restoration, how can I help you? You know, you tell us exactly what we're looking for. For that type of package, we offer free transportation. So we do have a trailer that we would literally come to your house. It's all white glove service. You don't have to do anything other than just give us the keys to your car. We come pick it, bring it up here. The car starts in the wash bay where it gets a full 2-stage decontamination, clay bar, everything. Basically, that's step 1 to get into Redbox. Then the car's moved over to, we typically like to do paint correction. Paint correction is more important to us than it is in anybody else in this industry. A lot of people will use their paint protection film to cover up scratches. And I'm not a huge fan of that. We're fans of doing what's right for the car. And what's right for the car is to protect the paint, restore the paint, make the car beautiful, and then cover it with paint protection film because you have a beautiful car underneath, right?
Yeah.
So we take the car from the wash bay. The car gets paint corrected, and then fully blasted apart like this Porsche that we have next to us. Everything comes off. We like to do seamless installs on our paint protection film, so you don't see any lines, you don't see any gaps, you don't see anything like that.
I've seen those in the
Yeah,
past.
yeah,
on
and
other
we
cars.
I couldn't stand it. I'm a paint correction and detailing guy. That's where I started. We moved into this business, and my business partner Christian was a PPF guy, and I told him one thing that I would never do getting into the PPF business would be sacrificing aesthetics for protection, and that's what a lot of people do. They put the clear bra on their car, and it's protected, but you look around the edges, and you're sacrificing the aesthetics of the car to have that protection, and I wasn't for that. So that's why, like I said, we take all the cars completely apart, put the film on, put the cars back together, and then at point, like a car like this Porsche would need to go back to Porsche of Austin, or we'd have a mobile diagnostic team come over, reset all the codes, and then the cars move to the QC process where we trim, we make sure everything's completely perfect. The car goes back on the trailer, back to the customer's house, delivered, and everything's perfect.
Wow.
Yeah, really simple process.
Wow. Dude. Well, it's simple for you
Yeah, right. Yeah,
because you could do it in your sleep.
yeah.
You're that good.
We've done this a few times. Yeah.
So what about when you were kicking off this? Like, when did you wrap your very first car?
That's a good question. So like I said, I'm a retired claims adjuster. The reason I'm retired is because of COVID.
Uh-huh.
I traveled upwards of 230, 240 days out of the year working for Ford. And when COVID hit, all of the travel stopped.
Dang.
And during that time, I also had 2 kids. So I decided that I needed to stop traveling as much, and I needed to spend more time with my children. And what better way to do that than to find something that you love dealing with cars and also make a business out of it.
Sure.
And like I said, I had all of those other detailing companies come to my house. I wasn't satisfied. I researched detailing for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And finally I pulled the plug.
Yeah.
I quit my job. I bought a trailer and I started mobile detailing.
Yeah.
Like going to people's driveways, washing their cars in their driveways.
That's how you do it.
And then we moved into a van from the trailer, and then from a van to a 800 square foot shop, which is probably the size of my wash bay. And then 4 months ago, we moved into this facility here.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's been a wild ride, and all that within 3 years.
That's
so
amazing.
it's been a lot of jumps.
What would you say? Because it seems like you've jumped at a rapid rate.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Just based off the outside looking in.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you say are some key variables that open up those gateways for you?
Well, for one, I'm gonna have to say age. I'm getting a little older now. I'm 40 years old. I have 2 children. I thought I had my career and life completely planned out. When I was working for Ford.
Yeah.
And that just completely changed. But I knew at the same time I needed to make sure that I was financially able to take care of my family.
Yeah.
So it has been a lot of just jumping off a cliff and just saying, I can do this. I can make this work. And I've done it, 10 times in the past 3 years where I've just jumped into something to where it seemed like it was the size of a mountain until I peaked it, so.
Dude.
Yeah.
That's freaking cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So at any point in time, okay, we're speaking specifically Redbox, okay? Did you feel like you were in over your head and that you should scrap the whole concept?
Never.
Really?
No. I mean, failure is just not an option for me. It's just never, when I made the jump and quit my corporate job, failure was just not an option.
Have you always been like that?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Did you grow up in sports?
I did. Yeah. I was a football player.
Yeah.
Played tight end. Yeah.
And what about outside influences for your mindset? Because I know family can do that. Perhaps trainings that you've gone through might do that, or books, or whomever.
Yeah.
Has anything that you could put your finger on influenced you to have that mindset?
Well, I mean, without getting too personal, I would think that I'd have to say your first answer was family. Family can teach you a lot of things, right? It can teach you either what you want to be or what you don't want to be, right? I was on the other side of that, and I had, let's say, a difficult upbringing.
Sure.
But I knew that in order to break those, I guess, generational traumas, that I had to kind of make some major upgrades in my life. And it was a lot of self-help. I'm not going to say books. I'm not going to say anything in particular other than just self-help in my mind, and really just telling myself that, hey, I could do this. stop with all the self-limiting beliefs, and stuff like that people have, and just go for it, And I've just always been kind of just a go for it guy, and it either works or it doesn't. But I'm not gonna sit and think about something so long to where I could have already tried and failed multiple times. I'm just a jumper,
You're a doer, man.
Yeah, I'm a doer. Yeah.
Making it happen.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Man, that's yeah, sometimes I've heard this the other day actually. Most of the most successful entrepreneurs are running from something or running towards something as their driver. That's very insightful, and I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah.
So let's fill in the blank. Okay. Red Box Restoration / car detailing company. That blank. Okay. Obviously, we can't fill in the blank with that wraps cars. So what would you like to be known for?
For being the best.
That is the best.
The biggest and the best.
The biggest
That's
and
our
the best.
Our goal is to be the biggest and the best.
Now, when you say the biggest, what does that actually look like?
Without going into too much future plans, not certain who watches your podcast or not, but we plan on franchising. So we're going to start with franchising a couple of locations, and then just trying to blow this thing up.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
that's fantastic. Yeah, we're gonna wrap this whole thing up and eventually with the ultimate goal here in more detail. But thank you for sharing that as well. So, you as a person, right? You're the business owner here, and what do you do for fun, man? Like, let's let the public know a little bit more about you. What do you like to do?
I mean, I have 2 children, so I mean, spending time with my kids is always going to be number one, and I have to say that. But the great thing about what I do and what I get to do right now is I get to have fun at work.
Yeah,
this is constant fun for me. So I mean, anytime, just being here today, this is great. I'm having a blast. I'm always having a good time here. I mean, I chose something to do that I knew that I would be happy doing for the rest of my life. And I love cars. I love people. So I'm just happy here. Yeah. But I mean, as far as what I do in my spare time,
right on.
I either spend time with my kids or I'm up here with my kids. I mean, we work together. So I mean, yeah.
Whose dog was that?
That's my business partner, Christian's. Yeah,
dude, that dog put a smile on my face.
Yeah, that's Winston. Yeah, that's Winston. He's our CEO of happiness, is what we call him. So.
Yeah, he definitely made me. I tell you, looked at him and was like, "Look at this guy."
Yeah,
what's those ears, man?
Yeah.
What's been the most eye-opening thing for you in the auto industry collectively throughout all the roles that you've played?
Oh, interesting. I'm gonna say egos, just because I want to light a little fire, because I feel a little feisty right now. But I think there's a lot of egos in this business, and I think it really limits people to their own little segments of the community. And that's one of the things that when I spoke about emotional intelligence earlier, I think, like I said, I think a lot of these people segment themselves, and I think their egos do it to them.
How so? You have any specific examples, not on a somebody's name, but a person in a certain category? What's an example?
Yeah, I think it's when you stop acting like the help and you start acting like the man, That's and that happens really fast. People they get successful in business and they go and buy themselves a 911, like right after they become successful.
Yeah.
And when that happens, people are watching you, and you have to be very careful about the perception and the image that you're putting out. Whenever it comes to, I mean, a guy like me shouldn't be driving a 911. And if you see a guy like me driving a 911, you should either come ask me what I'm doing right, or what I did to get there. I mean, it opens up people's minds to ask you questions that I don't think need to be answered. Let's put it that way.
Really?
Yeah.
You said, I could have misheard you. You said that people should come up and ask you if you're driving a 911?
Yeah. If you see a detailing company owner
Yeah.
driving a 911, you should go ask him what he's doing, because he must be doing something right.
Ah.
Or he may be doing something really wrong. And usually in this industry, it's really wrong.
Tell me more about that.
I think, like I said, I think that they're trying to hang out with the customers who they're trying to service. And I think you really segment yourself whenever you do that, because each one of these groups are, let's just say they represent something.
Oh,
right.
Of course.
And being affiliated with a certain group puts you in a category, right?
Yes.
And there's a category, and whatever category you're in, the other person who's on the other side of that, they have something negative to say about you, and that segments you
Big time.
You know, it at least cuts you in half. You know, and I don't like that. I don't like to be like that. I don't feel like I have any competition in this industry because I don't recognize competition. This is my game, and I'm playing my game.
And your game is literally providing the absolute best experience and service possible.
Yeah, that's all that we want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So walk me through some hiccups of starting your business. You said you started off with, what was the first thing that you had before the van?
It was I think it was a 14-foot trailer that I pulled behind a Ford Raptor. It was a beautiful setup, but it was basically just to get my feet wet in the industry. I didn't want to invest a ton of upfront capital if I didn't know that my goal was going to work. Like, of course, I said failure's not an option, but I didn't want to put myself in a financial burden, right? So we started off small, and then every 3 months realized that I can be bigger than this. I can be bigger than this, you know. And
Every 3 months?
Yeah, every 3 months, yeah.
How'd you get your clients?
Word of mouth.
Okay.
Basically word of mouth. My first 3 years, I didn't have any social media. I didn't do any ads. I didn't run anything, but it was just me, and all I had to do was take care of me. So it was smaller. My client base was smaller. You know, I had a lot less work and a lot less mouths to feed. So
Easily manageable.
yeah, very easy manageable. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you started to grow,
Mm-hmm.
and you've got a growth mindset because you're like, what's next?
Yeah.
And let me do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, after my first year of business, I did $191,000 out of a 800 square foot garage.
Okay.
And
All word of mouth still.
all word of mouth.
First year?
First year.
From trailer to van to garage.
Shop in the garage, $190,000.
Okay.
I did that, and I looked back at my year and realized that I didn't have the energy to do that again.
Right. Because
I was
you.
I was working 300% all the time, and when I look back at that year, I was proud of myself and I was proud of what I did. But I realized that I could never do that again just by myself, and it was at that point that I knew that I needed to grow a team. So that's what I did.
Okay. Now, one thing that we bring up a lot on this is leverage. We focus on a lot of principles of business because our listeners are business owners most of the time. When it comes to your leverage points, how did you know who or what to invest in first?
That's a great question. Honestly, I didn't.
You didn't.
I did not know. And we made quite a few mistakes. I made quite a few mistakes, you know, but I learned. I learned quickly.
Which
from
one that
those
stands
mistakes.
out?
My biggest mistake was not getting a shop first.
Shop first.
Yeah. I mean, I should have invested my money up front, and we could have, you know, this wouldn't be just the beginning. You know, we could have multiple locations already, you know, but like we were talking about self-limiting beliefs earlier, I didn't, this was the dream for me here. But now that I have the dream and I could see a bigger dream, you know, it just gets bigger, and it just compounds on itself.
You keep moving the mountain.
Yeah, you keep moving the mountain, right?
So we touched upon this a little bit earlier with what you're able to share.
I think, I guess something that I could share is going to be our product line. We're about to drop our own product line. Right now we're representing Carbon Collective and a lot of Clean Korea stuff.
Yeah.
And great products, love their products. I've invested a lot of time into marketing products and, you know, photographing and just, you know, doing all that stuff. And I realized that I was putting a lot of work in for somebody else, you know. And so we've decided that we're going to launch our own product line of detailing supplies.
Whoa.
And they should be out in the next 6 months to a year. So
You excited about that?
I'm very excited about that. Yeah.
Yeah. How are you going to sell it?
Online, in person.
Yeah.
You know, car shows, everywhere. Yeah, anywhere we can get it. Yeah.
Okay. I gotta ask, you know, because you've driven quite the array of vehicles. All right.
Yeah.
I'd imagine we talked about this as well. So, what's been your favorite all-time car to drive?
So I'm a simple man, right? And I have very.
We'll see.
I've got simple tastes.
It's like Ferrari 488.
Well, we've got a lot of Ferraris. We're working on a lot of McLarens. We've got a lot of wild stuff. I mean, we have a P1 HDK that I've had the pleasure to drive. I think my favorite car of all time, and the one that I'm lucky enough to get to drive all the time, is just the Porsche GT2 RS. Yeah, it's just the most fantastic car. I mean, we just took delivery of a Brabus 900 Rocket R, which is basically the wide body 900 horsepower Porsche, and then Mexico blue. I mean, it's a beautiful car.
Sick.
But it's all-wheel drive, you know, and the GT2 RS is a rear-wheel drive car. And I like the fact that I feel like it wants to kill me. Yeah. You know, so the GT2 RS, the best car. I'm an adrenaline junkie. Yeah.
What else do you do that gives you adrenaline?
Just cars.
Cars.
Yeah.
All right, let's
Yeah.
keep it simple.
Yeah, we can keep
You're a
it simple.
man.
Yeah, I'm a simple man.
I'm not
Yeah.
jumping out of airplane.
Yeah. No airplanes. No airplanes. Just cars.
Perfectly good plan. Why you want to jump out?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So just a couple more questions, and we'll wrap this up here. The big all-time vision, right? The big audacious goal. It might not be you franchise, right? 20 years from now, you might sell the business. And I don't know. Ideal life for what you can see right now look like. Where are you? Who are you with? What are you doing? What are you selling, if anything?
The perfect happy life has nothing to do with business with me.
Awesome.
Like I said, I'm a family man. That's me, my wife, and my 2 kids on a beach in Mexico.
On a beach in Mexico.
That's happiness to me.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm sending good vibes your way.
Yeah.
That comes true.
Thank you.
As soon as you want it to.
Yeah.
Right. There's no timeline for retirement, and I don't think retirement is even a real thing, anyways. Because you're still doing stuff, right?
Right.
And who's one person, if you could sit down, anybody that's alive, who would it be?
You know, we have this conversation at the shop a lot, and I'm going to use my most PG-13 answer as possible and skip down the list a couple, but I'm going to have to say, Toto Wolff.
Who's that?
Toto Wolff is basically the CEO of Mercedes Formula One Petronas team.
Yeah.
He's been a kind of a role model in my life. Very stoic, just like the gentleman of gentlemen type guy.
Yeah.
I think he owns 1/3 share of Mercedes Petronas Formula One team, and basically raised Lewis Hamilton. And I think he's I guess him and Jay-Z. I wouldn't mind having a conversation with Jay-Z too. So
yeah. That's Jay-Z. Where'd you grow up?
Houston.
In Houston.
Yeah.
Did you like rap growing up?
I'm a huge hip hop guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
My older cousins would let me borrow their CD booklet.
Yeah.
And I put it in my boombox.
Yeah.
Growing up, it was the best thing I could ever get.
I'm on some tracks freestyling in Houston with the group called Bellway 8. So that's how deep I go with that.
Freestyle.
Yeah.
You know, my social media coach told me that we need to get some clickbait content.
Mm-hmm.
What are the odds you can do a little freestyle?
I'll do a little rap. Oh, rap for you right now?
Yeah, sure.
No.
What?
No, we have to edit this out, but I'm not going to rap for you now. No.
Well, if you were to do a little freestyle right now, what would it sound like?
Oh,
What would you talk about?
man, that's good. I haven't done it in so long. I don't even know.
So
It would probably be like inappropriate things that have nothing to do with my life, but because it's 20-year-old me rapping.
I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah, no, it's all right. It's all right.
Oh, gosh. So how do people get a hold of either you, if you're willing to share, or the business?
Yeah, I mean, you can call Redbox Restoration 512-762-9069.
Yep.
Always available 24/7. That's my direct line, so feel free. You can reach us on any social media platform that you can find. You can find us on our website, redboxrestoration.com. I think that's about it.
Yeah.
Or see us at any car show or see us around town.
All the car shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this podcast is called the Elite League Podcast.
Mhm.
All right. We want to take people that are on a forward and upward trajectory in life and in business.
Mhm.
It's clear to see, based off the brief conversations we have, and your reputation, by the way, that you're a stand-up person, that you got your eye out to helping other people and being the light in the world.
Yeah, I
So
appreciate
thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
I really appreciate
Yeah.
this big time.
Great.
Let's
Thank
fire
you.
it up.
Yeah.
My name is Greg, your host for the Elite League Podcast. Don't forget to smash that thumbs up, hit that subscribe. Until next time, everybody, stay fired up.
Thanks, guys.